The AFL are considering appealing the 3-game ban handed to Toby Greene by the tribunal. In a 4-hour hearing this morning, Greene was found guilty of making intentional contact with umpire Matt Stevic in the Giants' win over Sydney on Saturday. The AFL asked for a 6-game ban, and according to CEO Gil McLachlan, a 3-game sanction is perplexing.
If I'm honest, I find it personally, and I need to be careful, hard to reconcile how it can be intentional conduct that was aggressive, demonstrative and disrespectful. I think it was found to be all of those things, and then only be 3 weeks. You know, we asked for 6. These are the facts, and it's at 3. And I'm finding that personally hard to reconcile how it can only be 3 weeks. So I would say to, you know, I guess as the CEO of the league, I'm saying to community leagues and others that I find that decision perplexing, and so I just, you know, I don't think I can say that I thought, well, that I've said enough. Yeah, I've spoken to the lawyers about our appeal rights, clearly. So they're looking at that at the moment.
Certainly has been a massive story. So for more on this, Fox Footy senior reporter Tom Morris joins us on AFL Tonight. Tom, hello to you. Gillon McLachlan, very strong publicly today. Is an appeal genuinely in play?
Drew, yes it is. That's the short way to put it. An appeal is absolutely in play. I think it's probably more likely than unlikely at this stage. If anyone had any doubt that the tribunal was separate from the AFL, that there was a checks and balances system, well, this should alleviate it. The fact that the AFL is thinking about appealing its own tribunal shows that there is a checks and balances system in the AFL. And as we sit here tonight, I think that's the most likely option. So the AFL will consider whether it's worth it, given that week 2 of finals start on Friday night. They'll also consider whether it's worth it because of the implications this could have for grassroots umpires and football at lower levels. If they appeal, the league will need to prove one of the following points, and I feel like this is Groundhog Day, Drew. We spoke about this about 3 weeks ago on the other shoe with Toby Greene and the Giants appealing. They need to prove that an error of law has occurred, or that the decision of the tribunal is so unreasonable that no tribunal acting reasonably could have come to that decision having regard to the evidence before it, or the classification of the offence by the tribunal is manifestly inadequate, or this last point, and I think this is the point the AFL will lean on if they do appeal. The sanction imposed by the tribunal was manifestly inadequate. Now, the AFL clearly believes this last point, and all that's left to work out is whether they think they can win and whether it is worth it. And they're also, as I said, conscious of the impact this has on grassroots umpiring. I expect an answer to come tonight, if not tomorrow, as the lawyers and the AFL at the moment are locked in talks to decide how and if they take it further.
So, Tom, it was a marathon hearing this morning. Perhaps that doesn't even do it justice. It was titanic this morning with Greene and the tribunal. Given that Greene was universally condemned for the exchange with Matt Stevic, was a 3-game ban a win for the Giants?
Drew, on the surface, this looks like the AFL's asked for 6 and GWS has asked for a fine, and the tribunal has met them halfway and given 3 weeks. But I think there is absolutely no doubt that the Giants have won this and won this easily. And the clear evidence of that is that the AFL is strongly considering appealing, whereas the Giants are happy not to appeal. So I think if the AFL had asked for 4, the Giants might have said, let's go 1 or 2, and they might have ended up at 3 anyway. But because the AFL pushed for 6, which is what this would have been at most community football clubs around the country, then the Giants thought, stuff this. We're going for a fine. We don't want Greene to miss anything. We're going to appeal not guilty. So in reality, the league is actually, by the league pushing for 6, what that makes it seem like is they failed because they've got 3. This marathon hearing today was like one of those tennis matches that goes to about 2 a.m. in the morning, Drew. Lots of back and forth, and you're a bit bored of it after a while, but you can't take your eyes off it because the result is so important. This is tit for tat. It got a bit messy. There's a lot of mumbo-jumbo, but in the end, I don't think there's any doubt that the Giants won. But that might not be the case for much longer if the AFL does appeal and if they do get up to 6. And I think they'd be backing themselves to do that. It's just whether they want to, lag this any longer with finals starting in a couple of days' time, or second week of finals starting in 3 days' time.
Yeah, one thing we do know for sure, Tom, is we won't see Toby Greene again this season, and certainly not on Friday night. So, Tom, thanks for your time. I'm going to come back to you soon. There's a lot of news around today, but we do need to get